I think if you know, please share.
Well, what I mean is, how did he get iced out? How did he get excluded from being the Democratic candidate in 2016?
It was the Russians, of course.
Well, no, well, yeah, that's, but I guess what people need to know is that Hillary Clinton stacked the deck against him. The Democratic National Committee made sure that he couldn't possibly be the Democratic candidate. Now, how do I know that? Oh, I know that because I've read the emails from the Democratic National Committee that were released and published by WikiLeaks. Were they authentic? WikiLeaks has not published anything that is inauthentic. What did they say? They say that Hillary stole the nomination from Bernie Sanders. Now, how come people don't know about that? Well, because Hillary is really clever. And as soon as she saw that those emails were going to be released by WikiLeaks, she held a council of war. And she says, oh, this is awful. This is even before the convention. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Oh, this is awful, because they'll see what we did to Bernie. And somebody says, I got an idea. What is it? Let's blame it on the Russians. She says, blame it on the Russians, but it wasn't the Russians, it was WikiLeaks. That's okay. We hate WikiLeaks as much as we hate the Russians. Why don't we say that the Russians stole those emails and gave them to WikiLeaks? Hillary says, any better ideas? No? Okay, let's go with it. Now we know she went with it. On the 26th of July, in the midst of the Democratic National Convention, she authorized this fable to take hold. I heard her PR person, Jennifer Palmieri,
yeah,
a month later say, you know, we got this news to go around with our golf carts to all the outlets and to the CNN and all that, and peddle this message that the Russians interfered, Putin himself, and they want Hillary to lose. And we had trouble understanding that, but we tried. But then when we go back to Brooklyn, then some correspondents who have close ties with the intelligence services and some of the intelligence people themselves briefed us on what the Russians were doing. And then we were off and running. Now, what was the whole point of that thing? The whole point of that thing was to create a magnificent diversion from the substance of those emails, okay? Now, I mean, the five top people on the DNC quit when they were, okay? What does that tell you? To deflect attention from the substance and say, the Russians, why the Russians? What was the New York Times? Oh, why did the Russians do this? Why did the Russians do this? So, you know, that's what people have to contend with. And, you know, the New York Times and all those people led the charge, and they thought that, that this would work. Now, why didn't it work for Hillary? Now, this is a little bit tangential, but I think it's really interesting. Hillary was let off scot-free by using her unclassified computers for highly classified,
yes,
including top secret code word material. Okay, they let her off. James Comey let her off. Okay, now, just on the 28th of October, just what, a week or so before the election in 2016, the people in New York said, whoops, we got this other computer here that belongs to, what was his name?
Anthony Weiner.
Yeah, Anthony Weiner. And he's got some of his wife's emails on here. And so the people in New York said, we have to look into those. Look, Comey, you promised Congress that you'd look into everything. And so Comey sizes up the situation. Says, all right, well, Hillary's going to win anyway. He says this in his book. He says, I was operating in an environment in which Hillary Clinton was sure to be the next president of the United States, period, end quote. And so I'll make an announcement that that we're looking into these new emails. Now, that caused quite a stir, didn't it? Right before the election. Guess what? The polls, those clucks that run the polling outfits, didn't know enough to do what they call what's necessary when an exogenous event happens. In other words, something out of the blue happens. You have to start from scratch. You can't go in the old polls. Okay, right. They didn't do that. They said, "Well, Hillary's still going to win." Hillary didn't bother to go to the Midwest, and so Hillary lost. Now, Comey was really sorry about that. He was accused right away of Hillary, but then they let him off because he was cooperating on other things. Now, just to fast forward 4 years later, what happened 3 weeks before the election in 2020?
They had the information on Joe's son, right, and they basically had it, they sabotaged it. And one of the best journalists out there, Glenn Greenwald, tried to basically, he said, listen, I don't have a dog in this fight. The American people have a right to know that the Bidens, frankly, are just as crooked as the Trumps. It doesn't matter if you're a thief and you stole $100 million and the other stole $10 million. You're still a thief. And if the American people have a right to know that, they have a right to know it. But as you can attest, the deep state said, no, we want Joe Biden as our next president, and you are not getting in the way of this.
Well, even as much as I know about the deep state and how it controls the media, this was shocking to me.
Yeah.
How they could suppress this information, how they could cut off the daily, not the Daily, New York Post Twitter account, everything else, and how they could just button this thing down so most Americans never heard about Hunter's emails, which were authentic and which showed that Joe was involved in all this kind of stuff.
These backroom deals with Ukraine and China. And again, as bad as that was, the one in 2016 that really stuck out to me was when Chris Cuomo went on national TV right after the dump and said, you're not allowed to read to the American people. You are not allowed to read these emails. And I'm thinking, this is 1984. Like, we literally are living within 1984. You have Big Brother right on screen telling you, you read these emails and you're going to pay dearly for it. I can see this. You can see this. Jen can see this, but there are, the overwhelming majority of the people are just not aware of this. And
when I think the shocking thing to me is that 74 million people voted for Trump. Now, I should probably make clear that I hold no brief for Trump. As a matter of fact, I've been saying for years that he is the worst president the United States ever had, bar none. Okay, so why did 74 million people vote for him? And if Hunter Biden's emails came out, could that have affected the outcome? Whoa, that's a big question, right? Now, did I want Biden to win? Well, on the lesser of two evils scale, I suppose I did. Did I publish on Hunter's emails? No, I didn't have the guts of Glenn Greenwald. Why? To keep peace in the family.
Oh my God.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.